Hi, my name is Vanessa Pasillas, and I am doing my positive reinforcement speech. Let me show you my audience. In the back, you guys will notice I put up some visuals here. You guys can look at them after my speech, get some tips on positive reinforcement. But for now, let me go ahead and start by telling you my specific purpose, which is to persuade you guys about positive reinforcement and how it is effective, and why choosing positive reinforcement can help both parents and the child to develop lifelong positive strategies and help the child make better decisions or choices. How many of you have children? Okay. Are you a parent that has tried numerous ways to discipline your child? Have you experienced backtalk? Any of you?
All the time.
All the time? Have you noticed your child ignoring you?
All the time. That's every day.
Have you tried avoiding spanking because you don't want to encourage your child that spanking is or hitting others is okay?
Yeah, no spanking.
How many of you, well, let me tell you, as a parent myself, I can relate to the many challenges that involve parenting, especially when it comes to discipline. Every parent has their own method and their own ways of disciplining their child, but sometimes parents need help here and there, like myself. There are many techniques when it comes to disciplining your child, but there are some that are just plain wrong. Positive reinforcement is a great technique that is easy, stressful for both parents and the child. According to Nayfert in 2005, which was an article on parenting, positive reinforcement is essentially setting up a positive system that can help the parents achieve goals of discipline, which is to decrease behavior of fits and talking back, to obtain problem solving and playing nice with others, including you, and also to promote socialization. And Rein also wrote in Breaking Bad Habits was to promote socialization. Today, I plan to persuade you to choose positive reinforcement because spanking or any other physical punishment is just not the way to go. To help you visualize the positive reinforcement can be a successful method, I will give you a few strategies, all in hopes to see how many of you would choose positive reinforcement the next time that you discipline. First, I will define positive reinforcement. Second, I will teach you a few positive reinforcement strategies. Third, I will help you visualize how reinforcement can be successful. And finally, I will ask you to use positive reinforcement the next time you discipline your child. The first step is the spanking issue. Let's take a look at the effects of spanking. According to the pediatric advisor Schmidt, who wrote about spanking, stated that 50% of Americans till this day still occasionally spank their child. According to Professor McKenzie, parents who spank more read to, play with, and hug their children less. And sometimes parents do this because they are disgusted with their child's behavior, that they don't want to spend any time with them. Spanking only promotes bad behavior and influences aggression. In the earlier years, spanking was not considered to be a bad way to discipline children, but times are changing and studies have shown that good and bad effects have shown the good and the bad side effects of spanking. I was spanked as a child. I feel that it did have a negative effect on my social skills and the way that I viewed my parents at that time. I didn't like them for spanking me. But it did teach me to listen better and faster. It was a quicker method to disciplining. But I would never want my children to fear me, especially if they made a mistake. So one thing you gotta do is try not to overreact. We have talked about problems associated with spanking. Now let's move on to some solutions. The next step is the satisfaction step. I would like to start off by pointing out, as parents, we often seem to notice the bad things that our children do rather than focusing on the good. Children notice when parents are paying attention to them, whether it is good or bad behavior. Keep that in mind. Positive reinforcement can have a positive lifelong effect on your child. It encourages your child to make better choices. With goals in mind and a strategy in place, a key and first strategy is to establish a great relationship with your child. According to McKenzie, who did a study on the effects of spanking, which was done using 1,900 kids, these children were tested at age 3 and again at age 9. And studies found that spanking had long-term effects on the children's behavior and language skills development. Goals are to help decrease and eliminate inappropriate behavior by using more positive approaches. Some of the positive strategies can include positive attention. When the child is misbehaving, stay patient with them and yourself. Learn to discipline more positively. Try not to have a mean approach, or screaming or yelling sometimes scares them. We call that bullying. According to an article, Positive Attention Reduces Behavior Problems by Amy Maureen, stated that kids respond better to a timeout. And this doesn't have an age limit. Kids receive regular doses of healthy, positive attention. They reduce their attention-seeking behaviors. Show your child attention when they are behaving well and getting along with others. Children seek attention from their parents, whether it is good or bad. My second strategy is communication. As parents, we often forget that children are in the learning process. And we have to remember that they will make mistakes, and spanking is not the answer. Communication is a great strategy, especially when it comes to discipline. Teaching your child how to communicate how they feel or express how they feel can also help eliminate bad behavior. The third strategy, and most important, is listening. Listening is a very positive reinforcement. Some kids just want the parents' attention and just want them to listen. If you have more than one child, take the time out to spend with each one of them to listen to them. Stay engaged when you're listening to them. Let them know that you are aware of what is going on. Give them hugs. Let them know they did a great job. Give them a reward or a sticker. Expressing how you feel about their good behavior can also decrease bad behavior. Now, last is my visualization step, which is, there is a parent that I see daily. She never associates with others, nor is she nice to her own daughter. As soon as Ashley talks back to her mom yanks her by the arm and tells her daughter to shut up. I noticed that Ashley would do the same to her peers in the classroom. Whenever they had an opinion, she would yank their arms. Ashley would tell her peers to shut up, and Ashley was only portraying what her parents were teaching her. This could perhaps be due to being disciplined physically. However, I, on the other hand, tend to choose a more positive approach. I know that having little kids around it's bound to happen. Just the other day, my daughter did not want to help clean her room. Nor did she want to play nice with her brothers. I knew that she was not happy, and I asked her what was going on. What could she do to be a little nice to her brothers? I also asked her how would she like to be treated. These questions helped her to realize that, one, she wasn't being nice, and two, I also encouraged her that if she cleaned her room, she wouldn't have to clean the weekend after. Kids learn at an early age what is acceptable and what is not acceptable, and they learn through their parents' actions. Would you like to get your arm yanked if you didn't agree with mom, or would you like your parents to talk to you and not down to you? My action step, I know I'm not a professional, but I am an experienced mother. And these are just a few basic tips or steps that can help parents choose positive reinforcement. And as a parent, keep in mind that spanking does not work. Spanking can affect a child's behavior, and this can go on for many years. According to Thompson, the effects of spanking can lead to lifelong emotional aggression and avoidance from people, which is not good. Positive reinforcement is less stressful for both parents and the child, and it encourages positive manner and helps promote positive discipline, like timeouts. I want to leave you guys with a poem, which is Children Learn What They Live by Dorothy Locke. If a child lives with criticism, he learns to condemn. If a child lives with hostility, he learns to fight. If a child lives with fear, he learns to be apprehensive. If a child lives with pity, he learns to feel sorry for himself. If a child lives with ridicule, he learns to be shy. If a child lives with jealousy, that is my speech for now. Sorry guys, I missed the other. Oh, here we go. Here it goes. He lives with envy. If a child lives with shame, he learns to feel guilty. If a child lives with encouragement, he learns to be confident. If a child lives with tolerance, he learns to be patient. If a child lives with praise, he learns to be apprehensive. If a child lives with acceptance, he learns to love. If a child lives with approval, he learns to like himself. If a child lives with recognition, he learns that it is good to have a goal. If a child lives with sharing, he learns about generosity. And that is my positive reinforcement, and hopefully you guys can choose this next time. Thank you.